Awesome. So yeah, my name is Hannah Fuller. I'm the communications coordinator for OFMA. I am also in one of my other hats that I wear is serving as the communications person for the National Farmers Market Coalition. So I love, live, and breathe Farmers Market Week. So I'm really excited to talk with you all today about what the Oregon Farmers Markets Association is planning for August 1st through 7th. So that is me. I'll pass it off to Lisa.
Hi all, I'm Lisa. I'm with the Montevilla Farmers Market in Portland, Oregon. I am excited about this, and my favorite product right now, I just got tomatillos for the first time this season, and I'm really excited to grill them and make some salsa verde. I'll pass it to Patrick.
Cool, I'm Patrick. I just started as the assistant manager at Hillsdale Farmers Market. And we're sharing our favorite item at the market, is that? Yeah.
This week, yeah, whatever you're into this week.
Well, it was a big tomato week, and I'm the tomato guy, so I'm snacking on those. Eamon, do you want to go next?
It helps to unmute. Hi, Eamon Malloy, Hillsdale Farmers Market in Portland. I've been market manager for a while. What's my favorite thing this week? Well, last Sunday would have been the first dry farmed tomatoes, but I don't know what's coming this week. It could be boysenberries, more boysenberries this week. So we'll have to see. And I guess I'll pass it on to Natasha, who just popped up on my screen.
Hi, sorry, I was helping a resident here at the office. I'm Natasha, I'm with the South Waterfront Farmers Market, and my pronouns are she, her.
And I'll just jump in and say I'm Amanda from OFMA. I'm the programs coordinator, and for those of you who've just joined us, we're just sort of a small group here, we're just going through and saying out loud who we are, since it'll only take a few minutes. So I will pass it on to Dallas.
Hi everyone, I'm Dallas. I use they, them pronouns. I'm the market manager at the Woodlawn Farmers Market and a volunteer with the Cully Farmers Market as well. Oh, and then we're passing it also. Katie, is that how you pronounce your name? Did you just join?
Yeah, I just joined. Hi folks, my name's Katie Kolker and I'm the new executive director with Portland Farmers Market. Nice to see you all.
Awesome. And then I think Alexis, have you introduced yourself yet?
Not yet. Hey, I'm Alexis. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the market manager for Lane County Farmers Market. I'm really excited about gooseberries. Turns out I love gooseberries.
Nice, awesome. And Melissa said that she had audio. Melissa, if you want to say hi, go for it, no pressure.
Hi guys, this is Melissa from the coast. For some reason, I have absolutely no audio. You're just a big black screen. So I'm going to try and go out and come back in and see if it's just from my end. But hi everybody, I'll be right back.
Awesome, thank you, Melissa. We'll see you when you come back. So I'm going to get us started. We might have some more folks trickle in and maybe we can prompt them to introduce themselves in the chat, but we only have an hour together today, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So for those of you that just jumped in, I'm Hannah Fuller. I'm the communications coordinator with OFMA. I'm going to start sharing my screen here. I'm hoping everybody can see that. And now I'm going to pass off to Amanda once this comes up here. Amanda to do some kind of housekeeping for OFMA stuff.
Great, thanks, Hannah. Feel free to turn your video off if you don't want to be on camera. And to help keep background noise to a minimum, make sure your microphone is muted when you're not speaking. You'll be able to see both the speaker and the slides during the presentation, and you can mess around with how that view looks by, there's a on most computers, there's a place up on the right-hand side where there's some options for messing around with how that looks. And if you have a question before the end of the talk and you don't want to forget it, you can submit it to the chat box, and I'll hold on to that question and read it out during the Q&A time and discussion at the end. And if there's any tech issues, actually, it says Hannah there, but you could send them to me because I know Hannah's going to be presenting and she might be a little busy. So
This might be an old slide, apologies.
feel free to send those to me in the chat. And then the chat is at the bottom of your screen, and make sure that you click and choose the right person, whether you want your message to go to the whole group or just to me or Hannah. Next screen. Okay, and then we have a few upcoming events, some more workshops. We have 2 more sessions in our DEI series coming up, one on August 19th, Interrupting Interpersonal Oppression, Tools and Strategies for Addressing Racism as Farmers Market Managers. And then on September 9th, Uprooting White Supremacy in Recruitment of Market Staff, Volunteers, and Vendors. It's finding new ways to structure our markets that increase racial equity and center management and vendors of color. These are both going to be by Aorta, who did the workshop that we did earlier this spring. And for these 2, you need to register for those. So please go to OFMA's website to the workshops tab. And then this session is kind of the first in the return of our peer learning calls, which are going to be doing every month on the first Tuesday of the month. It's a chance for you to meet with other market managers and market staff, and even board members are welcome to come to this too, and ask your questions, get back expertise and experience from other people like you who know exactly what you're going through. Each month we'll focus on a seasonal or emergent topic your markets are encountering. If you want to get reminders about this, just put your email in the chat and we will add you to a calendar invite, and we'll also make sure that you get reminders about it. And the link that you use today will always be good for these peer learning sessions. One thing to note though is that our August session is going to be on the first Wednesday of the month for that one, which is an exciting session with Adelante Mejeras and Kaylee that we're looking forward to. Next. So I think I'm turning it back to Hannah at this point.
Yeah, I think so. Awesome. So hello, everyone. I am really excited to be speaking with you today about Farmers Market Week. So I'm just going to dive right in, and let me see. I just want to make sure. Oh, I got my slides mixed up. So this is actually what I'm going to talk about here first. So today, whoa, things are flowing the wrong direction. Sorry, guys, you're getting a little bit of a preview. There we go. All right. Whew, here we go. So I'm here to talk to you guys about Farmers Market Week, which is coming up August 1st through 7th, which is suddenly not that far away. And it's something that OFMA looks forward to every year. So I'm really excited to chat with you all about what we are planning on doing, and how you can get involved with what OFMA will already have rolling. And then gonna spend some time where you can ask me any questions about that, chat with me and Amanda about anything that OFMA has going on. And then I'm really hoping to use the last hefty chunk of this time to provide space for you all to share what you're planning, what your goals are for celebrating this year, if you're planning on doing anything at the market, what you're looking forward to and why you're making that investment of energy, and then also what resources you're looking for from OFMA. So August is coming up, but there's also plenty of time for us to work on creating some more resources and other things for you to make the most out of the momentum that comes from National Farmers Market Week every year and celebrating in Oregon. So I'm going to pop back to this slide. So first off, I'd love if anybody could put in the chat if you've celebrated farmers market week in the past at your market, what you did or why you participated. So there might be some folks here who haven't celebrated farmers market week in the past. So I just want to briefly talk about why this week is so much fun and why we really try to encourage markets to celebrate. So it's a great opportunity to engage with local media. So farmers markets are happening year round, especially in the summer, and local media likes to focus on farmers markets, especially as there's been so much COVID mitigations and challenges that managers have taken on so gracefully. But it is a really nice time to highlight everything that markets are doing with media. And so we provide a press release template, and there's going to be an op-ed template through the Farmers Market Coalition resources that we will be able to share with market operators. And so it's a great time to engage with media and kind of highlight everything that your market has been doing throughout the year. That comes along with building support for farmers markets. So there's going to be a lot of ways that you can highlight everything that you're doing in your community at a whole other level. This also can lead to new visitors and customers. We really like to focus on building that momentum on social media. So I'll talk more later about all the things that OFMA will be doing online to help build that social media presence, which then could hopefully lead to more visitors and more customers in person in your communities. So we try to provide all the tools online to have anything virtual be vibrant as your guys' amazing in-person markets are. And lastly, it's just really fun. It's fun to celebrate. We've had some markets do raffles. Some other markets in other states have done like corn shucking contests and zucchini tosses and things like that. So it really can be whatever scale you're looking for at your market. So yeah, so fun to see in the chat, highlighting Instagram photo contests. There's the market tattoos from Farmers Market Coalition, a special tasting, pop activities. So last year, especially, it was hard to do some things, but we're looking forward to this year. So I'm gonna keep us rolling here. So on the OFMA side, we are really excited to be bringing back our photo contest for another year. It actually starts tomorrow, which is really exciting. And so our photo contest features markets photo submissions from across the country. So, or not across the country, across the state. And so what is really great for us with the photo contest is that we are able to feature markets from all over. Unfortunately, I cannot just drive, even though I really would like to, drive across the state and visit every farmer's market. Our photo contest really helps us showcase markets from all over the state and highlight everything that's happening in person there. Plus, things often end up being very cute. So great stuff for us. And we really like it because it helps us bring attention to markets in places that we might not be able to visit. So this year, the contest will start tomorrow, which is exciting, and a few more days to submit than there was last year. So it'll be open for about 2.5 weeks. And then we'll close the submissions, but we will continue to have it open for public voting, which occurs from July 26th to July 30th. So that public voting happens on Facebook. So we have these categories. This year we have pretty produce, which is what it sounds like. So beautiful produce pictures, which we never seem to have a shortage of here in Oregon, which is really exciting. Market goodies, which is all those other products that are at the farmer's market that aren't produce, which is a lot of other things. So anything from honey to cheese to crafting vendors, photos from all over, other products of the market. The big picture, which is a fun category where you kind of zoom out and think about both like the big picture of the market as a whole, but also like the big picture of what the market brings to the community. And so it's really about like community connection and all that stuff. And lastly, we have this community resilience category, which is hoping to showcase everything that markets have been through this past year and really celebrating the accomplishments and the value that markets bring to their communities. So those are our categories, and then there will be voting in Facebook albums. And so what you can do as a market manager and potentially the manager of a Facebook page could be sharing those photos, especially if a photo of your market has been submitted. So you can submit photos, and you can submit as many as you want in as many categories, but also your shoppers, your other market staff, your board members, anybody can submit photos located at your market. So it's a really exciting way to bring in that support and bring together all those photos. So we will be sharing the link to the submission forms tomorrow. So keep an eye out on your email, and you can share that in your newsletters or on your social media over the next few weeks. Next up, we have our recipe contest, which is pretty similar of a concept. So open to my managers, but also anyone in your community that wants to submit a recipe that highlights Oregon farmers market products. And so we will be again releasing that form tomorrow for folks to submit. And this one is super fun because it highlights the products that make our markets so vibrant, but also we have some opportunities this year for folks to share a little bit behind the recipe and tell us the story of, like, is this your favorite recipe to make with your kids, or did this recipe come from your grandma that has been passed down for generations? So we're really hoping to showcase how those market goodies bring about connection together. So this year we have a lot of categories, and I want to clarify this year that we won't have a winner for each one of these categories, but rather when you submit your recipe, there will be some check boxes for you to tag your recipe with all the things that it could be. So maybe it is a salad, which means that it would be a no cook, but maybe it's, whoops, clicked there, but anyways, maybe it is no cook, but it's also vegetarian and it's for a crowd. So we have descriptions of all of these tags in the submission form. So if you're like, what the heck is, versatile actually mean, we'll have some descriptions in there, but I think most of these are pretty self-explanatory. So we're trying to highlight some that are maybe more accessible. So perhaps you don't need a fancy appliance, but you can just make it wherever you are, or maybe something somebody wants to take hiking over the summer. So these will be available in that submission form, like I said, and as a reminder, you can submit as many recipes as you would like. So, I don't think anybody's going to submit an entire cookbook, but if you wanted to submit a bunch, we'd be happy to see them. So again, can be submissions from anyone in your market community. Those will be open tomorrow and will close on July 23rd. This contest doesn't have as much of a public liking element. Instead, we get a bunch of the OFMA staff and board together, and we all get to make some recipes and try them. So we're really excited about that. All right. And next up is our proclamation. So our executive director, Kelly Crane, has already submitted the proclamation form to the governor's office. So our hope is that this year we will get August 1st through 7th proclaimed as Oregon Farmers Market Week. There is a national proclamation sent out by the USDA every year. It's in its 22nd year. So no matter what, Farmers Market Week will be happening in Oregon. Last year, the governor's office was quite busy for understandable reasons. And so we didn't get an official proclamation in 2020, but we did in 2018 and 2019. So we're optimistic that this year we'll get an official proclamation. What I do want to highlight is that in the FMC, the Farmers Market Coalition resources, which will be linked on our website, there is a template for you to work with your local officials to highlight Farmers Market Week with a proclamation. So whether that's, the Lane County declares it as Farmers Market Week, or the city councilor in Coos Bay, or whoever is able to make that happen, that is one way that you can engage with your local elected officials. We saw throughout the country this past year that markets that were engaging with their local government had a better time, dealing with new regulations, and were more likely to be prioritized in new things. So it is something that you can get going this month if you're interested in that. And so tomorrow we'll have that updated on our website and included in the email that we'll send out to all markets tomorrow. So. And lastly, we will be having a lot of action on OFMA social media. So we hope that you guys will plan ahead on doing some things, which it sounds like folks have already talked about in the chat, what they've done in past years. So we know that Farmers Market Week happens a lot on social media, and it definitely does for us here at OFMA. So we have a lot of infographics that we'll be sharing and updating from last year. So we hope that you will look out for those and share them yourselves. We'll be highlighting winners of the contest. So photos like these that are really lovely, we'll be sharing those throughout the week and highlighting those winners. So keep an eye out for those too. And really, like I was saying earlier, it's the celebrations at the market level that really make this vibrant and exciting of a week. I mean, the social media stuff is fun, don't get me wrong, but it's really the like activity at the market with people that makes Farmers Market Week so fun. So if you're taking videos at your market or have some posts planned, definitely do tag us. We'd love to reshare what you're sharing and really make sure that we are sharing from markets all across the state. So those are our big plans on social media. And if you have something like a special program that you think we might be interested in highlighting, we try our best to track what's going on at markets all across the state, but sometimes we don't catch everything. So feel free to reach out to us if you think that there's something that you would like us to know about so that we can plan ahead to highlight it. We'd be really excited about that. So like I mentioned before, keep an eye out for tomorrow's email. So that'll be going out on our listserv, on our we have some current managers lists and all of our member lists. So we'll be really spreading that far and wide tomorrow, and that'll have the contests and all the updated resources on the OFMA site so that hopefully you can take those and run with them for the rest of the month and get going on planning. So now we have a little time for some Q&A. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can see people and see, does anybody have any questions about what I just shared and what OFMA is planning? Awesome. No pressure to have any questions if there aren't any.
Hannah, which hashtag do you want us to use? Because there's several.
Yeah. So we'll have hashtag Farmers Market Week is always a great one. So that'll be up on the website. It's actually, I think it's currently up on the website, but the Farmers Markets Are Essential one continues to be kind of, it stuck last year and we're gonna keep rolling with it, I think, this year. I think we all know COVID is close to over, but not really. And the Farmers Markets Are Essential language, I think, has really kind of morphed into like, our market is essential for our community, and it's essential because it brings our community together, or it's essential because it provides access to local food in a way that grocery stores maybe don't. So I think last year the Farmers Markets Are Essential hashtag was more like we're food stores, please don't shut us down, keep us going, that kind of thing. And now this year it's really moved into more of the like, farmers markets are essential for resilient local food systems and all that kind of stuff. Thank you, Amanda, providing those links for me. So yeah, thank you for that question. I think I might have answered more than you asked for, but we're looking at the Farmers Market Week, and the Farmers Markets Are Essential this year. So thank you for that. Any other questions? Awesome. So yeah, so then my plan was to spend the rest of our time together talking about what folks had planned at their market, or maybe what you've done in the past. I know we had some great stuff in the chat, so perhaps you're coming off the holiday weekend and you you haven't had the time to think ahead to August yet, but I was just hoping that folks might be willing to share what they're thinking, what they've done in the past, what worked, what didn't work, that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm thinking for the South Waterfront Farmers Market in the past, what we did do was have a kids' day where we prepared a scavenger hunt for them just throughout the farmers market. And we can definitely bring that back this year, I think, because we just don't have a power produce program since our market's pretty small. But I think that might be a fun way to engage with the kids and just an additional activity to do.
That'd be super fun, and a great way to kind of like get the parents all over the market.
Hey, Natasha, do you create your own scavenger hunt list or board, or do you just go online and find one?
So I can share it with you all. Our local Montessori school that we partnered with for that Kids Day, their director pretty much put it together, and all I had to do was kind of ask the vendors if they were willing to participate. So I think our honey vendor, she wound up giving out free honey sticks to the kids, but she was more than happy to do so because she saw a return on investment since the parents would stop by too. So yeah, I will take a look somewhere deep in my files because that was pre-COVID, and send that over to you both.
That'd be great. Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like those are the kinds of things where like doing the back end is the hardest part. And so yeah, that'd be great to see.
So for this year, I'm actually going to be out of town for the actual day. So we probably won't do a ton at market because I would feel bad making our assistant market manager do all that. But we do still have like a ton of buttons in our barn that maybe Amanda actually made at one point that was saying like I heart like the market. So I could totally see us like giving those out, like maybe even just at the entrance and like having a poster saying Happy Farmers Market Week, and then probably I can pre-plan social media, so we would do that as well.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Definitely a fun way. Even just like the sign, and that can kind of provide a photo op for people who want it. But that sounds lovely. Buttons are always, people love swag,
Anna, for the photo contest, does a picture have to be taken during Farmers Market Week, or if they have a really cool picture from earlier in the season, can they send it in?
Yes, anytime. And yeah, so because the submission period starts tomorrow and then is closed before Farmers Market Week itself, we're really looking for photos throughout the year. Even like it's hard to imagine right now with our crazy temperatures we had last week, but like even winter markets and things like that are fun for us to feature. And I will note that when folks submit their photos, they consent to us use OFMA using them throughout the year, which is, I mean, great for us because we have photos to share throughout the year, and it does help us highlight a variety of markets throughout the year. So even if folks don't win the contest, it's highly likely that we'll share their photo or use it in some way, and obviously tag the market, tag the photographer and all that. So again, a longer answer than I think you asked for, Amanda, but yeah, throughout the year is super great. And then, yeah, like Lisa said, I mean, yeah, you could just schedule the content before you leave. I know a lot of other markets will use the Farmers Market Week opportunity to like highlight specific vendors. I know a lot of you guys are already doing that throughout the year. You are all very active on social media, but there's a lot of things to do. So that sounds great.
just in case getting pictures is something that's tough for you to do, like whether you're just like not a like picture taker, or you're a market manager and you got other things to do at your market than walk around and take pictures. I was wondering if people have used like having their had it as a volunteer position at their market, where you have like your picture taker for the day and somebody can just sign up to volunteer and they come take pictures, and then it's easy for them to upload it to a Google file link that you give them. You can give them a little badge that says they're like the official picture taker for the day, so that like vendors and customers know they're not just some person wandering around taking a bunch of pictures. But it's a lot of like some professional or even semi-professional photographers end up signing up for this kind of thing, and you get some really great stuff and ways to promote your market, and it's less of a burden on you to be wandering around getting pictures.
Yeah, I love that idea. I always think I will sometimes go and take photos at markets around Oregon, and I'm always trying to introduce myself as being from OFMA because I feel a little creepy sometimes walking around. But it is that's a great idea, and I think a lot of people who are really talented at taking photos would sign up. We've seen that at a lot of markets, so it's a great idea, Amanda. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, we have a board member that comes to market almost every week and always takes photos. And it's nice because she always takes photos of things that I would never think of too. And so it's nice getting kind of a variety of more big shots of the market, where I'm like produce to way close.
Awesome.
I do have a question to pose to the group for tastings at the market. If, let's say, I wanted to host a tasting at the information booth, I would need to have a food handler's license, correct? Or does it depend on the product?
I would say it's only like $10 to get a food handler's card.
Okay.
And it's a really easy test to do online. And I would say you should get, like, it's just good for the market manager to have that in general.
Yeah.
That you know about the food safety for your county.
Yeah.
Requirements.
I'll get on that. Thank you.
I was just gonna say, you don't need the temporary restaurant license.
Right, yeah, you're not trying to be a restaurant. You just need the quick, easy employee food handler's card. And
I recently did it. I think it took 4 hours, or like not even 4 hours. I think it took it says 4 hours, but if you just like click through, it's a pretty brief process, and it's $10 like Amanda said.
Okay, thank you.
And make sure you're going through your county. There's a lot of websites out there that are like, try to take advantage of people and charge you more money or make things more complicated. And so just, look at your link. When you Google that to get to it, just make sure you're really going through your county health department and going through the right thing. And if you can't find it, email me and I'll find the right one for your county.
Is anybody else thinking ahead to Farmers Market Week yet and wants to share any plans they've got going on?
So we just hired Patrick, so that was kind of tied up.
We won't put Patrick on the spot and make him come up with something.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, awesome. I think I will say here at OFMA, we're planning ahead earlier than we have in the past. So we're hoping to bring markets with us and get folks planning ahead a little earlier too. But totally know that it's the busiest time of year for most markets. So hard to plan ahead.
Oh, Hannah, I have a question. We talked about the tattoos earlier, and since you're also from Farmers Market Coalition,
Yeah.
Is that something market managers could still order right now and get in time for farmers market?
Totally, totally. Yeah, I'll be packing some of those this evening from my apartment. And probably the shipping is fastest for those in Oregon because they're coming from my post office. So yeah, so you can order those through the Farmers Market Coalition website. They do cost money. So that's just, I think some folks think they're free, but yeah, they are available. And I would say you could probably order them till like the end of, probably till July 23rd and get them in time, but the earlier the better, just in case. USPS is always, you know, figuring things out for recovering from the pandemic. So things sometimes move a little more slowly.
I have a question. This is my first time or my first year as market manager during market week. So I want to do something really exciting to be on site now that we are allowed to do that and people feel more comfortable engaging with each other. So I heard scavenger hunt, but I'm just curious if anyone else has any other activities they've done in the past or that they've heard about on-site activities, just different ways to engage with market goers. Maybe
This isn't necessarily something that we've done specifically for Farmers Market Week, but you could always do like a chef demo or have someone like come and like make a recipe and then you do samples. Where that's normally like one event. It's like, oh, this starts at 10 o'clock and it's like a 30-minute thing. Or you could just have someone sitting there like cooking something all day and kind of doing samples as well, which is kind of something exciting and it actually does move some produce. Or some other folks have talked about kids activities. So one like really popular thing was like making a Mr. Potato Head, but like out of an actual potato, and then like kids can put different things to make a face, or even just like coloring pages and having the temporary tattoos too could be something that would be engaging for them.
Cool.
I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, I know last year in the Dalles, Oregon, they did, even during COVID, they did like a dress up, it was a vegetable costume contest. And it sounds like it should be for kids, but most of the submissions were from very creative adults that like dressed up vegetables and then brought them to the market and they had them all on display. And it was like big zucchinis wearing capes and really funny stuff. Thanks for joining, Natasha, no worries. And let's see, there's been, so a lot of people have done raffles before. That's not as like interactive, but it is a draw for some folks. And I know people have done like tosses with extra vegetables. That can be kind of sad if they're really good vegetables to watch them go to waste. Yeah, just a lot of like games and things like that. I think really up to you, and you know your community best for like what they would be most comfortable with after COVID or as restrictions go down. So
it's really fun. I love the potato head idea and the costume. I feel like people in Eugene would love to make.
Yeah, some other things also that I've seen are like photo booths. So those can be a really great way to do something in person. So you would set up like, you know, like hay bales or whatever and have people like pose maybe with little like Lane County signs or whatever. You could decide what the scene is. And then you can post those on the market's Facebook page and then tell folks to go find them. And that can sometimes draw people to your social media and also provide an in-person thing as well. People have also done like with a whiteboard, you know, like why you love Lane County Farmers Market. And people could write on the whiteboard and then take a picture with that, which is great for you because suddenly you have all these photos of why people are really passionate about coming to your market, but also it's a way for people to take a picture. And yeah, so those are some other things that I've seen.
Thank you.
I also want to highlight the other thing that Hannah had listed in there about the proclamation or connecting with your local politicians and other bigwig type people. Like, and you all have a lot of work to do, but you don't necessarily have to do like a public thing at your market if you want to. Like, this could be a good time to focus on making that connection with a politician or other official of some sort, and doing it around Farmers Week is a really low stakes way to do something that's like not asking a lot of them, not like, it's just a way to like introduce yourself so that when you do have to ask them for a big ask, they already know who you are, they know who your market is, they know you don't only come to them when you need something big. So you could take this week to do something like that and have that be your focus. And it's okay that like, you're doing that a little bit of behind the scenes work rather than doing something that's like super public out your market, because you don't have time to do everything. And especially connecting with these people can be the thing that always falls off the to-do list, because it doesn't feel like the most important thing to do right now until you realize you really need them for something important later, like a pandemic or something like that.
Yeah. And then when I was going through those short slides, I talked about the proclamation, but on the OFMA website, we have a link to the Farmers Market Coalition Advocacy Guide, which has templates for inviting elected officials to the market, and a lot of resources for that kind of thing. And so you can go for the proclamation, like I'd mentioned, but you can also just shoot an email to their office and let them know, like, this is happening on these dates and our market is on Saturday. And that can be a great way to also, often like local news media will be interested in that. And so after sending one email, you could suddenly have a person come into the market and a photo op for them. And a lot of politicians, we've noticed that farmers markets and local food are kind of a bipartisan issue. Everybody can get behind local economies and local farms. And so we've really noticed that those big wig types like to post about it and like to be seen supporting farmers markets. They often just need that invitation from you guys.
I see the Wallowa County Farmers Market just joined. Hi, Wallowa. Just want to say hello. And if you have any questions about Farmers Market Week, we're having discussion right now, so feel free to chime in. You can either put it in the chat or just come off mute and ask what you want to know.
Awesome. Well, my final question for all of you guys, and I know we've talked a little bit about different resources and things like that, but over the next few weeks, is there anything that you guys have thought about in terms of, gosh, it would be really nice to have a template for a poster from OFMA, or gosh, it would be really great to have OFMA do this thing or something like that? Is there anything that you guys have thought about that you could think that we could maybe help make celebrating even easier for you over the next few weeks?
I mentioned about how we'll probably put a poster up that's like Happy Farmers Market Week. But I don't know if we necessarily want an OFMA template because we'll use our own branding. But it might be helpful for some markets if they don't have time to do that as well.
Totally. Well, and if you think we've provided everything for you, then that's great feedback for us. Awesome. No,
I'll just chime in and share that since I'm relatively new to Portland Farmers Market, I don't actually yet know what we've done in the past, and we haven't yet started to have conversations about our plans for this year. But our market operations director has been with our organization for a very long time, so she knows very well what we've done in the past, and I'm sure she has some thoughts and ideas already stewing. So I will circle back and let you all know what we have planned. But yeah, sorry, I've been kind of silent because this is all new to me. But it's nice to be in this virtual space with y'all. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Before everybody jumped on the call, I was sharing with Amanda that I went to the PSU Farmers Market for the first time this weekend, and it was an amazing experience. So thanks for all the work that you do to make that happen every weekend. Awesome. Well, I know that you all have plenty of other things to do during your week, so I don't want to hold you here. If you've had all your questions answered, I know that if things continue to come up throughout the next few weeks, and as we release the contests and things like that, if you're sharing those in your community and more questions come up, please do just send me an email at any time. My email is on our website, but also it's just hannah@oregonfarmersmarkets.org. And yeah, we just want to be as big of a resource for all of you as we can throughout this time and throughout all year long. So Amanda, is there anything else that we wanted to share before we wrap things up?
No, I think this is great. We'll see everybody again August, Wednesday, what is it again?
I think we'll see you during Farmers Market Week on August 4th. So it'll be Wednesday, August 4th at 11 a.m. That presentation is going to be all about Veggie RX programs, how those work. And like Amanda said, we're going to there's some really experienced folks coming in from all over the state. And so they'll be showing how they work in different places. And Veggie RX programs can be kind of complicated, and they're always, they can always be a little bit different. And so that's going to be a really exciting presentation. And part of why it's on a Wednesday is because we have a lot of schedules that we needed to align. But we hope that you'll be able to join us. And if you can't, there's always going to be recordings of these on our website for you to view after. So yeah, thank you for joining us, and feel free to stay on if you have any more questions. Amanda and I will just be hanging out here for a little while longer. But yeah, we'll see you next month, and see you maybe later this month at our other trainings going on. So we hope you'll register for those too.